thought I'd return back to some proper retro stuff for a change. I sort of alluded to, I didn't allude to the fact, I actually mentioned the fact that several videos ago, perhaps 2, maybe 3 videos ago, I mentioned that I'd recently bought a few retro goodies that I was effectively storing up for videos, and I've just recently got one of those recent purchases out and had a bit of play with it, and it is a Sega Gamegear. The screen is so awful, it is unbelievable. I mean, it's so blurry and it's gash. And another bad thing about the Gamegear, and to be fair, it wasn't anything that was unique to the Gamegear. A number of handhelds, like the Lynx, I think, and certainly the PC Engine GT, were absolutely goddamn awful on batteries. Take 6 batteries and you're lucky if you get 2 hours out of them. It is absolutely dire. So as an actual gaming handheld device, they were pretty useless in some way. Certainly if you were using that, if you were going away, you were sat in the back of the car, your parents, and you were playing away with this thing. It was, you know, to get sort of 2 hours out of 6 batteries is absolutely atrocious. But it's, you know, it is what it is. I did own a Gamegear back in the day. I can't remember when I bought one, but I did buy one brand new when they were out and when they were in, and I didn't actually keep it for that long. And I think it was because of the fact that this screen was just so blurry. It's beggars belief, it really is. But of course, this is all retro stuff, and it's part of that retro scene. So I did think about buying one, sort of several times. Had a look on eBay and didn't want to pay those sort of prices, to be fair. Now the Gamegear is pretty renowned for failing, basically due to the capacitors inside the actual handheld fail over time, and they affect the screen, and they affect the sound, and they can also affect the power supply unit as regards to effectively using an external PSU. They can fail. So they don't accept an external PSU, and they only work on batteries. I had a bit of a hunt around on eBay, and I managed to get a bit of a bargain in some ways. It was a Gamegear, obviously, and it had some minor sound issues, but that was it. It said the screen was good, and it cost me about £9, including postage and packaging, which was pretty cheap, to be fair. So even if it was a piece of junk, I thought I'll have a play around with it, see what I can do with it. So effectively this video is about what I've done to this Gamegear and how far I've got as regards to modding, what I've managed to repair, what I haven't managed to repair, and also just to give you a very brief overview of the insides of the Gamegear. Not that it's tremendously exciting, but I thought I'd include it in the video. So yeah, so I'm going to cut straight to some of the modding work that I've already done on this Gamegear, and I've extensively modded it as regards to cap replacements, but I'll go through that very briefly, and then I'll show you firsthand how awesomely crap the screen is. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Speak to you again soon. Right, so here we have the Gamegear split in 2, and the bottom portion is effectively the screen. So just turn it over. So that's the screen panel side, and the top one is the back, which is the battery compartment. So again, if we just flip over, you'll see the battery compartment, or the back of the gaming console. They're fairly easy to take apart. There's, I don't know, 6 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 4, 6, 7 screws holding it in place, and they are a special bit on them, so you have to get a security bit for them, but it's all easy to take apart. Now, as far as I know, there are 2 main motherboard revisions on the Sega Gamegear, and you can quickly tell which version that you have based on the ASIC chips that you can see here. Now this one is a 2 ASIC chip board, and you can get one that has a 1 ASIC chip on it, and effectively when you're modding the console, if you need to do a full cap replacement, it is slightly different for the main board cap replacement between the two models, and the only difference is, and this as far as I know, is that the one chip ASIC board has an additional capacitor, which again I think is located around here. So it's not a major problem, but it just means that it requires an additional capacitor if you're doing a cap replacement. Now this one has been fully cap replaced. I've done it myself, and you should be able to see where all the caps have been replaced. So we've got one there, we've got one there, we've got one there, we've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and on this side we've got one there and one there. Now the actual job itself isn't amazingly difficult, you just have to take your time, but the original caps that are on these consoles in these locations are effectively surface mounted ones, and they can be a bit of a pain in the backside to get off, but you just have to be careful how you do it. I've actually thrown the caps away, actually, I think they're in the bin. But effectively I've bought a cap kit off eBay, cost me about £5 I think, for the screen cap replacement and the sound cap replacement. Effectively what happens on the screen is that the screen will start to flicker and you'll get black lines across the screen, or you'll just get no picture, and this is because the caps are breaking down. Now again, you can normally tell when you look at these caps, or the original caps, you can tell ones that are starting to leak, because the actual electrolyte, whatever the stuff's called that comes out of capacitors, it goes onto the main board, it starts to fur up the actual solder joints, and they start to go sort of green, like they start to oxidise, but that's effectively the electrolyte, whatever it's called, that comes out of the capacitors. So effectively what I've done, I've gone through and placed a whole lot. And my screen was okay actually, I didn't have a problem with the screen, but I thought I'll just do a full mod on it while I've got it and I've got it all apart. So yes, altogether there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 on the ASIC 2-chip board and 12 on the ASIC 1-chip board. Now on the main part of the motherboard, obviously you've got this fluorescent tube in here, which is the backlight for the screen, and it's not that great to be honest, and I know you could do mods on these to actually change that screen and put another screen in there, but yeah, I can't be asked for that. I'm not going to go for that one, I've got to be honest. Now here at the back is the soundboard. Now on this one it had very, very, very quiet speaker sound. I never tried the headphone socket. You can get it where it's fine for the headphones and it's not very good for the speaker, or vice versa, or both of them are duff. Now the full cap replacement for the sound is that one there that's been changed, that one there that's been changed, I've changed these myself, and the original surface mounted ones, you can see one there, another one just under there, and one just there. Now because I could see those two, the original surface mounted ones that look like that, in these two places were actually leaking, and that capacitor replacement there, that is for the external sound on the speaker. So if you've got no external sound, normally if you replace just that one, it will bring the sound back, and that one there is for the headphones, or it's the way around, I can't remember, so don't haul me over the hot coals for that one, but those two are effectively for the headphone volume and for the speaker volume, and normally if you just replace those two, you'll restore all your sound. Now if we have a look, I don't suppose we can actually see here, there we go, if I zoom in on that without having to go to macro, you see that solder joint on that there, on that surface mount one, it's quite shiny, that is, isn't it? That is how they should all look like. If if a cap's starting to break down and start to leak fluid, that bottom solder joint, you could just see there, just to the left of the C3 on the circuit board, that will normally go green, or it will fur up, what we call furring up. But effectively what happened, because the board had got eaten away, and you could probably see the dark patches, it's a very dirty, look at that, and it's minging, that is, and that was actually acid that come out of the cap, and I had to clean all that up. It took me quite a while to get solder on there because it wouldn't take any solder. The same as that one, it's black, and that's just all the crap that came out of the capacitor, and I had to get a load of flux on there to even get any solder on there. So I didn't think I was going to be able to do that, but it all worked all fine. Now another problem I had was with the PSU, and I haven't actually been able to fix this yet. I replaced the 3 capacitors. Again, there were surface mounting capacitors, one there, one there, and one there, and it's really tight in here. And I've replaced the caps, and it still doesn't work. I've tested some other various components on the board, and they seem to be okay, so I don't know what that is. I haven't got a clue, but it runs fine on batteries. So for the moment I'm going to run it on batteries. I'm going to do another mod on this, and I'll probably do another video for that, for the power supply, but I'm not going to bother doing anything with this button cross. I'm not going to bother doing anything with this board any further, with the actual power supply board. But I'm going to do a bit of a PSU fix for that, and I'll probably do another video for that. So that's effectively the 2 units broken down and modded. So I'll now put it all back together again. There's just something else I want to go through on this video, just to make you guys aware, for screens that have scratches on them, and I'll come to that in a wee bit. So instead of doing another video, I thought I would just go and actually do the power mod that I said I was going to do. I've just been out this morning to Maplin's and got a 5.5mm socket for the old power groover, which is one of those hoofers. I have to excuse the background music, and there's nothing like soldering when you've got the Ministry of Sound radio station on. Pretty damn awesome. So all I've done for this isn't anything fancy at all. Is I've got a new power socket that I'll put into the bottom of the Gamegear case, like that, and I'm just linking off the plus and the minus of that straight to the battery terminals on the PCB. Now you're probably wondering why. Hold on, if you're going to do that, why didn't you use the existing power socket that you've already got on the PCB? Yeah, it's a bit of a sore point. I've sort of mashed that up slightly, and it was just easier for me just to get another one and just stick it to the bottom. So hopefully that'll work. I've tested all the polarity, it's all right and everything, so I'm going to bang this back together again and hopefully fire it up for the first time, and it should all work, hopefully, he says. Right then, so let's let's grab my balls and see if this works. Gone off centre. Come on, baby. Oh yeah! That looks a bit dim. Gosh, you can't see that on that camera, can you? Awesome screw, but yeah, it's working. Job done. So that's what it's looked like. That's what it looks like, sorry, with the Christ. You can't really see it, to be fair. It's fairly unoffensive, but that is a mod to overcome the issue with the power board. Right, I just thought I'd get a close up of the screen. Now, as you can see, or hopefully as you can see, there's some very, very light scratching on there. I mean, nothing much as regards to if you're playing the game, you're not going to see them, and you don't see them. And it was one thing I was concerned about the Gamegear, because you know, like most handhelds, these tend to just get thrown around by kids and, you know, not kept in boxes. This was unboxed, like most of them are, but there's some very, very faint scratching on there. Now, when I bought this console, the screen was in pretty bad condition, and I was contemplating buying a new front screen for it, which you can get. Sell them in America. I haven't seen them advertised over here, but I think it would have cost me about £15 for a new replacement screen for that, which is a bit aggressive, I think. Now, something that I've used before is something called Novus, which is a plastic polishing kit, and quite a few of the arcade bods have been using this stuff to clean up the plastics on their arcade machines. And I bought this some time ago, and it is really, really good stuff. Look, it's not a miracle cure. It will not get rid of all scratches, and it won't get rid of really deep scratches, but what it will do is actually improve plastics, and certainly screen covers like this. And if I'd shown you what it was like originally before I actually polished it up, you probably wouldn't have believed it was the same screen. I was pretty shocked that it come out as well as it had done, because like I said, I was going to actually buy another screen. But effectively what you've got is you've got a heavy scratch remover. In essence, you shouldn't use that on screens. Anything that's a screen that you look through or look onto, you shouldn't use that. That is for heavy ingrained scratches on normal plastics, not clear plastics, because it will scratch clear plastic. And now this is the one that I use for screens, and it's the fine scratch remover, absolutely fine. So basically put a bit of this onto the plastic. I use a cotton wool, not a bud, a cotton wool ball, and do circular motions with that, and that works really well. And you finish it off then with this plastic clean and shine, which gives it a nice illustrious shine. But yeah, really good stuff that is. You can buy that from eBay. I think that pack there for the 3 bottles cost me, I think, about a tenner, I think. But it's really good stuff, and it is great for doing screens with, like I said. But it's not a miracle cure. It won't totally get rid of scratching by any stretch of the imagination. But like I said, if you've seen that screen beforehand, then I think you would have been slightly impressed with what Novus has actually done on it. Now, don't adjust your sets, guys. This screen is really this shit. It is quite horrific that it's, I mean, it really is blurry. I suppose you can tell by seeing, I mean, it's such an awful screen, it's unbelievable. I know the Game Boy was only black and white, but Oh, the clarity was so far superior to this. I mean, look at that. Absolute dog shit. And that's after a cap replacement. Right? We imagine what some of these are like without cap replacements. That's just, oh, it's just awful, isn't it? Yeah, it's not great, guys. It's not great.